Hey, thanks for checking out my video. A lot of you guys are asking me to do another update. I said I would do one, so here it is. It's a little bit more than week one in now. I'm still playing in the SSF Private League, Group Found League. I made it to level 98. I have about 14.3 million damage. If the enemy's on low life, that goes up to 15 million, and if I pop my Vol Warchief, that goes up to 17.7 million. So the damage is ramping big time, feeling really good. And I will show you guys a quick showcase map of a Alhazen. I've been doing a bunch of Conqueror Guardian farming rotas, so I'll just go ahead and pop this map in and blast through it. You guys can see what it looks like. Here we go. I'll try to clear this. Cold River is a really horrible map, so I'm just going to kind of try to rush the boss as fast as I can. I need unmaking orbs, so I'm going to pick those up. I'm doing this strategy I have, the Nico packed with energy nodes, which are extremely strong. They give you like a permanent shrine buff, basically. But you can see we're zooming around like pretty much at max speed now. Build's not really going to get a whole lot faster than this. We're just going to get more damage. The speed is going to go up a little tiny bit, but the clear speed is not really going to get much faster than this. It's just the boss damage is going to go up, and it can go up a lot more than this. But the clear speed is pretty much capped out. Our clear speed is fantastic. You can see we can practically just teleport through these maps and instantly kill everything. Clear speed is fantastic. And let's go through the boss here. These bosses are pretty annoying. This is up the stakes with Maven. And here comes Alhazen. And he dies in about 1 second. So damage is feeling awesome. Absolutely awesome. So I'll go back to town here and talk about some upgrades that I've made in the past few days. Number one, I got a new Lethal Pride. I farmed a second Lethal Pride, and this one happened to hit double damage down here on the bottom. I got one DD there, one DD there, and another DD there. So that's really good because especially they're on 3 nodes I'm never going to get rid of. I'm going to unspec this stuff later, but I'm never going to unspec this, and I'm never going to unspec either one of those things. So that's a nice Lethal Pride. My tree, I still don't have a Cluster Jewel, which is pretty crazy for level 98. I am going to go for one soon, though. I have one right here that is ready for an Exalt Slam. I'm not going to do it just yet, though, because I'm scared. But this one I'm going to use until I farm a second one to try to craft as a backup, because I don't want to Exalt Slam this one unless I have like a backup one. But also, I can't put this on yet because to switch to this, I'm going to have to drop this accuracy wheel here, and if I lose this accuracy here, I'm actually not going to be hit capped. So I need to craft new gloves first, basically, with tier 1 accuracy on them first. So that's on my to-do list. Here's a little to-do list I made. What I'm going to do in the next week or so. I'm going to farm Exquisite Ichors, which I haven't gotten in yet, so that I can Orb of Conflict my new gloves up to +2 strikes. I've been farming Maven and Invitations. I have 11 Orbs of Conflict right now, and I'm going to surely get a lot more than that because I have 14 Maven's Writs ready to farm, and I'm going to end up with a lot more than this too once I finish the rest of my Conqueror maps here, and I've got pretty much an endless supply of these if I want, and I've got a whole bunch of synth maps too I can get them from. So I'm going to get a bunch of Orbs of Conflict, and then once I get those, I'm going to farm Eater maps to get Exquisite Ichors from the Eater bosses so that I can Orb of Conflict +2 strikes up, make the new gloves, farm another Cluster Jewel like I just said. I need to make a new chest and shield so that I can suppress cap properly. My chest doesn't have any suppression on it right now. This is the same chest I had before, I think. And then my shield's the same one I had before too. The shield is needs 19 suppression, and then I've intentionally not relied on the resists from the shield. I'm still res capped without it because the shield I'm going to make, I want suppression, attack speed, and double damage on the suffixes, and then life and damage on the prefixes. So I'm going to try to grave craft the shield if possible, and still won't need it for resists. The new chest is going to be basically just like this one, except with suppression, and then with an open prefix instead of the life, so I can craft Fizz Taken As. The belt probably is going to stay like this for a while. This belt's pretty good. Flasks are still exactly the same because I have pretty nice pretty close to perfect rolls on them. I haven't tried to corrupt any flasks yet. I'm kind of scared to do that. Maybe I'll try eventually. And then I'm gonna craft an opal ring, hopefully with the with this right here. I have a couple of these opal ring grave crafts, so I'm gonna try to make a really nice ring to replace this one. This one's pretty bad right now. It's just solving my intelligence and my chaos res right now, and it's not really doing much else for me. It also has flat lightning on it, which is what I'm using to shock right now because I don't have yoke. If you guys didn't know this, if you don't have yoke yet, you need some lightning damage on your build somewhere to shock, and you will still be able to shock as long as you have flat lightning damage somewhere. You won't get max shocks like you will with yoke, but you will still get some shocks. And then I'm going to keep farming fortresses. I've been able to clear tier 17s on the build. As you can see, I have a whole bunch of Uber fragments. I actually have an Uber Shaper ready to go if I want to try it. So I've been able to down some tier 17s. Luckily, this seems like the fortress one is actually the easiest one of all of them. These other ones are extremely difficult. I finished the Citadel one, but I haven't been able to clear these other ones yet. These ones seem way harder, these three here. But I'm going to keep farming the fortresses, try to get the yoke to drop. Eventually I'll get it, and then I'll go back and farm golden oil so I can put Panopticon on it. And let's see, what else? That's pretty much the plan. We're going to upgrade the gloves, the chest, the ring, the shield, get the yoke hopefully, and that will be about it. The belt will probably stay the same. The boots will probably stay the same because they're really good. And the heat shiver, oh yeah, by the way, I got a heat shiver, guys, finally. I dropped it today. I got a clip of that right here. Here's what happened when I dropped it. But also, were you using div scarabs, Yak? You probably weren't using div scarabs, were you? Yeah, so that was pretty exciting. What's that? What's that? What's that? What's that? I've been farming. What's that? Farming for that all week long, and we finally got it to just randomly drop. I was so loud that my family was like, "What the hell's going on in here? What happened?" So we got the heat shiver finally, and then we also got a nice new weapon today. I just grave crafted this a little while ago. I loaded up a full entire grave of crafts, and I'll probably make a video about this specifically later on. Maybe in a few days I'll make a video about which crafts to use. It's pretty straightforward though. You basically do increased fizz, cold, crit, and speed, and then you do scarce on everything else, especially mana and life. I actually, when I first crafted it, I rolled it with mana leech. It was perfect except for it had mana leech on it, and so I went for a veiled orb to try to get rid of the mana leech and add on increased fizz because it had flaring on it. But then unfortunately I hit flaring with the veiled orb, so I put the fizz on it instead of the flaring, and I got lucky and hit the blind fizz mod, which is good. And so then I still had the mana leech on it, so I had one more chance to save the claw, and I was able to actually hit an annul orb on the mana leech. 1 in 6 here. 3 away, and I'm gonna go. So I'll show you a clip of that real quick. Bam. Okay. 3 squares for 1, 2, 3 countdown. Here we go. Annul off the mana leech, please. Okay, here we go. 1, 3, 2, 1. Bam. Please, please, don't be there. Don't be there. And so there you go. You see, we had mana leech there as a prefix, and we annulled it off. We hit the 1 in 6. We hit it. So that was quite the exciting culmination to the long graveyard craft that we did. The whole process took like an hour and a half, setting up the grave, getting all the corpses correct, and then finally we hit the mana leech. We veiled off the flaring, and then we finally annulled off the mana leech for the final step. And then I divined it a couple times to increase the damage a bit, because I forgot to put one of the divine corpses into my craft, which I will do next time. And so this claw is extremely good, but it still can be replaced by a perfect tier 1 fizz, merciless fizz damage claw with flaring, with merciless and flaring fizz damage. That will still, even as good as this claw is, that claw will still be 10% more damage than this one. So I will be continuing to try to make the perfect claw, and I won't stop until I get it. But for now, this one is exceptionally good, and I'm very, very happy with it. So yeah, there we go. There's the claw. What else? Checklist. That's what I'm doing. The build is coming along very, very nicely. I hit 21 Frost Blades. I hit 2120 Ice Bite. I'm still looking for Awakened Added Cold. I did find Awakened Elemental Damage with Attacks. I got that to level 5. I hit. That's it right now. I'm leveling Ruthless gems to try to hit level 2120 Ruthless because I'll never replace that gem. And the rest of my gems are pretty much the same. Haven't changed much. I'm considering dropping the Steel Skin entirely for Culling Strike setup here because I'm not using Culling Strike right now. I'm just kind of thinking about what other gem to use because I'd want to drop both of these gems, Cast 1 Damage Taken and Steel Skin. But yeah, I'm still thinking about that. And yeah, currency farm has been great. I've pretty much been self-sustaining on everything. I still haven't found the Divine Devoted mod yet from the Lantern, so Divine Orbs are looking a little bit struggling. I have made a couple sales though in the small private league. I sold a Veiled Orb, and I sold one or two other things. And yeah, that's about it really. My Atlas strategies have stayed mostly the same. I'm still using this Destructive Play strat, which I use to farm all my maps. My other one is Exarch with Delirium, Strong Boxes, and Corpse Farm. I have Corpse Farm on my Destructive Play strat also to try to farm corpses for the graveyard. And then my first one is Eater Altars with Essence, Harvest, June, and Expedition. This one is a really good farm for XP and Harvest Juice, which I have a lot of. I have 15,000 yellow juice, and I've been using some of this stuff too. I used it to craft this Cluster Jewel, and I used it to craft some other stuff. I also got a new jewel. I got this jewel right here, which is just pure damage. I was able to replace my blind jewel because I hit the blind on the claw. So I don't need blind on the jewel anymore. I was able to replace it with just a damage speed crit multi jewel, which is, it's okay. I still want to make a better one. But that one's good damage for now. And I still have my Insane Watcher's Eye that I found for my first Uber Elder kill. And yeah, so when I go for the Cluster Jewel, I'm gonna drop this. Oh, there's also accuracy right here too. That's another reason why I have to make new gloves before I can switch to a Cluster Jewel, because there's accuracy here and there's accuracy here. So if I drop this stuff, I won't be hit capped. But when I do switch, I'm gonna drop this, and I'm gonna drop Sleight of Hand, and I'm gonna drop these 2 points and these 2 points, and I'm gonna drop the entire strike wheel too once I get +2 strike gloves. And then I'll go to the large cluster setup. And I'll probably go for a medium cluster too also. I have a totem jewel right here, so I'll craft this up for Ancestral Guidance and make that make the build pop off even harder. And what else to say? Oh, I finally did the Feared. So we got to completely completed Atlas. We got Twilight Temple done finally, that bugged map that we had to do 3 times. And then I did the Feared and every other invitation, so we are completely done with our progression. So that feels really, really good. And yeah, that's about it. I don't think there's much else to say. So the build is popping off. I'm still going to keep farming. I'm having a lot of fun with the league. I hope you guys are too. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. If you want to see my character, you can just import Zish in POB. Just type that in there and you can import my exact character if you want. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. Have any questions, leave them below. Like the video, subscribe to the channel for more stuff, and see you next time, guys.